at all. He's imposing austerity, not because of anything to do with the finances of the country. He's imposing austerity because that's what Tories do. And they want to dismantle public services. He knows little about the lives of ordinary people in Britain, and he cares even less. It's become a travesty when the bottom 20% pay a higher tax rate than the richest 20%. He's got 10 rooms in Chequers. I did the calculation. He should only get 2 under the bedroom tax, but he doesn't pay it. He makes other people pay it. The dirty money is what happens. It's not Downing Street, it's Dining Street, as he has round hedge fund managers, and they're writing cheques for £1 million plus, often having not paid any tax on it. So we're all effectively subsidising donations to the Tories.
Down in Liverpool, and we've got a campaign running for Orgreave. The corruption of the police in Orgreave is not one.
Friends, firstly, I don't know what this chat about youth is. I'm actually 46, I've just aged very well. I think I've been invited because I did such a good impression of Macaulay Culkin off Home Alone 1. Off to do the paper round afterwards and so on. But friends, I just want to start by saying this. To speak on this platform with such heroes, with such fighters, at this, the greatest day in the calendar of our movement, well, there is no greater honour, no bigger privilege, no prouder moment. And friends, it's such cost, and it's a lesson that is passed down from generation to generation. My great-granddad was a railway man, and he downed his tools in the general strike of 1926 in solidarity with the miners. And like hundreds of thousands of others, he had his wages docked as a punishment, and I'll tell you this, I still intend to get revenge for him at some point. But friends, his story when it was told to me was an eternal reminder of our eternal principle that an injury to one is an injury to us all. It's about celebrating traditions and history and heritage. But that's not simply because of nostalgia. It's not about getting dewy-eyed about glorious victories and defeats. It's to inspire us in the months and the years ahead. It's a reminder that change happens not through the goodwill and generosity of those above, but through the struggle and sacrifice of those below. Like the Chartists, like the suffragettes, like the early trade unionists, like those who fought for ethnic minorities and LGBT people, like the families of Hillsborough, all of those who were attacked and smeared in their day, who were ridiculed, who were persecuted, who stood their ground and fought and won. And that is something we draw inspiration from today. And here's an alternative to the catastrophe of austerity. People have every right to be furious about the £23 billion being spent on housing benefit. But we should say this, that's not lining the pockets of the tenants, it's lining the pockets of wealthy landlords charging extortionate rents. Their own parties, the Liberals and the Conservatives. And the idea was to give working people a political voice. Keir Hardie was one of the first Socialist MPs elected. He turned up to the House of Commons in the traditional working class dress of the time. The policeman who met him at the House of Commons said, "Are you here to work on the roof?" And he said, "No, I'm here to work on the floor." And that was the beginning of a generation of people got into Parliament to speak out. But friends, the reality is this. The Labour leadership is not offering a coherent alternative as the pockets of working people are empty day after day. And we have to say, firstly, we've seen this last 2 weeks, this attack, this coordinated, concerted attack by the media. They will not be satisfied until the trade unions are driven out of political life altogether. And that is why we must stand firm. But friends, this is where we come in. I just want to end with this. We need a movement that unites all of us against austerity. That's why I'm backing the People's Assembly, a coalition of unions representing private and public sector workers, labour activists.
Has given us a much better voice than we've had over here for a number of years. We've also got some representatives here from the House of Lords. We've got representatives from the local authorities, including Durham, South Tyneside, Beartrade, Spennymoor, Sear, Martlepool, and Sunderland, of course. And we wish them, and Redcar, and Redcar, and anywhere, you're all welcome. Just come along, as everybody's there. But thank you for coming, and I'm sure when the battle gets on, we'll have these local authorities by our sides, and we'll have our MPs by our sides. As Owen says, we'll be affiliating to Austerity Owen, the Durham Miners will be affiliating to that, and we'll be dead support. Once again, Ricky, we're delighted to have you. We're delighted for what you stand for, delighted that you've got the campaign up and running, and by Christ, I hope you win it. So, Ricky, the floor's yours, mate. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades, I am so proud and privileged to be on this platform today, speaking to my kind of people, ordinary working class people. And Dave mentioned Margaret Thatcher. And yes, Margaret Thatcher destroyed the mines, but she never destroyed the miners and their families, and she certainly didn't destroy the spirit. Look at this turnout today. It's unbelievable. They're already talking the numbers down. They're saying there's less than 150,000 here. Less than 150,000. I've only got one thing to say to that. That's my arse. But listen, you've got some wonderful speakers on the platform who know what the ins and outs of politics. I'm here today to ask you a simple favour. As one working class lad to the working class community of this county, I want you to sign this petition for me, which is going round. There's people in the crowd now, and I just want